Hey, 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 it's your girl MJ, and welcome to the Michelle Tillman channel. I'm your girl, Michelle Tillman, and today we're talking about the side effects of the Daniels fast. Yes, I know it's January, and there's probably tons of churches across the nation, across the world, who are embarking on a Daniel style fast like Daniel did in the Bible in order to just prepare themselves for the year, to hear what God is saying that's new, to make sure we fine tune our relationships with God. But all that is amazing. But let's talk about how you feel when you're attempting to do all those things. We can't ignore the way we feel in our bodies while it's happening. So I did a little Facebook poll and found out from a lot of my friends, and I know this personal as myself, that the number one thing that everyone says they have during the Daniel's fast is like a headache or a migraine. Yes, raise your hand if that's you. Raise your hand if that's you. So, headaches or migraines are totally normal to have during a Daniel's fast. Because if you are a coffee drinker, if you have a lot of sweets, or even if you eat a really high carb lifestyle, which carbs are converted to sugar in your body, you might not be used to having lower blood sugar levels, lower sugar just in your throat. You are used to that sweetness, and now you may not have it, or you're used to that caffeine every morning. And now there's no caffeine, and you don't really realize you're addicted to the sugar or the caffeine until you don't have it anymore. And you're like, oh my God, my head, you done took 4 Advil and nothing is working. Or it feels like a migraine. You got to turn the lights out and shut the door. You act like you praying, but your head is busting through your skull. That's why I'm here to make this video, because there are so many side effects, and the whole goal of a fast is to get closer to Christ. It's not to, lose weight or whatever, or just be healthy and be on a new diet, new year, new me. No, it's about Christ. So there's some things that we should do, we should prepare ourselves for when we start the Daniel's fast. Some other side effects that I got, I'm gonna read them off. Irritability, like no patience, like you hangry and you mad and nothing tastes good, not feeling satisfied. That's one, because you're used to like maybe more protein or maybe a higher fat. If you're on keto like I am, you're like, I need that high fat, I need that protein in me to make me really feel satisfied and full and not thinking about food and snacking all day. You might be moody, like your moods, because changing how you eat, and I learned this from keto, is it really affects your hormones. So if your hormones are up, down, and all around, and you're in the Daniel's fast, you might be a little moody. I'm like, Brandon, I'm gonna need you to be patient with me during this fast. We're gonna need to be patient with each other, because little things might get on my nerves now, because my hormones are like all over the place from changing my diet drastically. Another thing is fatigue. You might be really exhausted, you might be really tired and wanting to take a nap all the time. It's okay to take a nap. It's okay to relax, because fasting actually helps your body to not have to do as much work digesting everything and all the crazy artificial things that we eat. So make sure that you do take naps. Now pray and read the word and worship and fall on your face and scream out to Jesus, but take naps too. And the last thing, oh Lord, now this one is what it might be TMI, but this is the one. The bowel movement changes. The gas. I know it's not cute to talk about gas and bowel movement changes, but that's real. Like if you eating rice and beans, better believe it's gonna be some gas coming out that backside. So you gotta really be careful and know your body. This is a way for you to also really know your body, which I realize, I know that I have an intolerance to eggs, but depending on how your church or you believe the Daniel's fast should be conducted, if you're allowed to have eggs. Well, I was trying to have eggs to get my protein and my fat in, but my stomach was like, So I'm eating eggs, and everything that was coming out of me smelled like eggs, and it was not good. So I'm just letting you know that is a real thing. It's a real thing. Let's just leave it at that. So all those side effects, and you're like, okay, what can I do? What can I do? Well, first of all, if you're having headaches, make sure you're drinking enough water. I know that sounds like overkill, but yes, make sure you're drinking enough water. But you also have to make sure you have enough sodium in that. So again, if your church allows it, you can drink Powerade Zero, or maybe not even your church, if it's your personal conviction. Yes, depending on how hard you love Jesus. Drink a Powerade Zero. It has like some sodium in there to keep your body like not from passing out, not fainting. If you don't want that drink that has sweetener in it, because you cold turkey and you want to be a no sugar thug for Jesus, then get some water and just put some pink Himalayan salt in that water and warm water and just drink it to make sure you keep your sodium so your body's not totally depleted of it. Like, you know, if you have extreme bowel movements during this time, like, you can be really dehydrated if you don't make sure you keep some of that salt in you to keep the water in you. So drink the water, but also make sure you have enough sodium to keep the water in your system. Another thing, if you've already started, I'm sorry, this tip's not going to help you, but if you haven't started yet, or you do a fast in the future, I know y'all like to have your coffee up until the last day. I do that sometimes, and I know we like to have our sweets and we like piling all our last minute meals in before we go, but that is really not conducive to having a healthy fast with low side effects. So what I started doing this year is I changed my caffeinated coffee to half and half. Like 2 weeks before the fast started, I did half decaf, half caffeinated, and then the next week I did like a fourth decaf. Also, vice versa, a fourth caffeinated and 3/4 decaf. And then like the 3 days before, I did all decaf coffee, and then I switched to tea on the day of the fast, because how many of you know decaffeinated coffee still has a little bit of caffeine in it. So if you're trying to be, you know, a stickler for Jesus, make sure you don't have decaffeinated coffee, and make sure you just have herbal tea that has absolutely no caffeine in it. So those are my tips. You know, stay hydrated, start cleansing from caffeine and even sugar and sweets and desserts at least a week or two before. Like, limit them a lot, because it's going to make your fast so much easier, so that way you can focus on Jesus and not your hunger pangs and all the side effects that you're having to go through. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Share it. Make sure you take these tips, and let me know if your church is doing a Daniel's fast. Write it in the comments. Let me know when it is, how long it is, and what you're hoping that God will do for you during the fast. I love you guys. Bye.